Thank you for joining us for the latest updates from 5 News. I'm Doe Ellison. We're learning more from city planners on a big project in Fayetteville's Arts Corridor. Now, these are renderings of the project, which centers on what is now a parking lot on the corner of Dixon Street and West Avenue. The space will eventually be turned into the Civic Plaza. Right now, the city is in the phase 2 of the project, with work happening on nearby parking to replace the parking lot. After that's done, the focus will be on transforming the parking lot.
We certainly think that a civic open space for the public with buildings that help activate that space, that help give a reason for people to come downtown and utilize the space, provide a nice complement to it, and actually provide a really good bookend to the site.
Now, work won't start on the new Civic Plaza until the new parking garage opens up. That is expected in the spring or summer of 2023. Now, before we get to other news, let's check in with meteorologist Zach Scott for a check of the weather. And Zach, we got some rain on the way.
Yeah, we've already seen some hit or miss showers and scattered activity going back to Wednesday late afternoon, evening. Saw some thunderstorms, mainly northwestern Arkansas. Saw another little batch of some rain during the overnight hours. And Thursday, we've had hit or miss showers around the region. That's great news. We got an update with the drought. This was 14 days ago, so 2 weeks ago today. This is what the drought looked like. Abnormally dry conditions to level 1. You fast forward 14 days. This is what it looks like now. The drought monitor is playing catch up with the overall dry weather we've had for the last 2 to 2.5 months across the region. Now we have level 2 to level 3. You can see the improvement from the heavy rain we saw at times last week, scattered in parts of the river valley back down towards Waldron. Today we have that chance of showers again continuing throughout your Thursday, overnight through Friday into Saturday. We're looking for upper 80s, lower 90s for highs for northwest Arkansas, 90s to triple digits for the river valley. And again, we're tracking those hit or miss showers through your Thursday, where you could see a few late day thunderstorms try to get going. Same as we've seen the last few weeks, there's enough energy that these storms can get going. Some heavy rain and some strong wind gusts will be possible. Pattern stays active the rest of the week into the weekend. We'll have scattered shower chances for your overnight into Friday morning, and scattered showers and thunderstorm chances will stick around as we go through the day on Friday. We'll keep you updated on this. Again, very active forecast here as we go through the next couple of days. Joe?
All right, thanks so much, Zach. Well, Arkansas health officials are confirming that the stages that monkeypox cases has increased to 4 in the state as this disease continues to impact the country. Now, in total, the U.S. has seen 3,486 cases. It can be spread in a number of ways, with one of the most notable methods of transmission being through direct skin-to-skin contact with people who have symptoms. Now, health leaders say that most people who test positive for the disease have not needed treatment, but mentioned that Arkansas has received a limited number of monkeypox vaccines to use on those who are eligible. And people in Springdale have spent months repairing their homes from the tornado that tore through several neighborhoods back in March. And now they'll get some money back on the permits they purchased to make those repairs. Last night, City Council voted to refund half of the cost. 22 permits were purchased for around $7,600. The decision will mean a reimbursement of nearly $4,000 for people in Springdale. Now, this reimbursement is only for those impacted by the March 30th tornado. However, the council could extend the reimbursement if another natural disaster strikes. Well, more than a dozen dead cats and dogs were recently found by an independent animal rescuer. Now, this story may be hard for some to hear and watch. The gruesome discovery was made near Lock and Dam 13 in Crawford County. Lori Lehman has helped save more than 200 animals that have been dumped in the area since 2019. But this year alone, she's come across nearly a dozen dead dogs left in garbage bags or along the side of the road in that area. She says kittens have also been dumped, and when Lehman went to check on them, 5 were missing. But a trail of blood was left behind. Now, Lehman struggles to continue helping the animals, she says, but says she also knows it's the right thing to do for these innocent pets.
They're not garbage. They are living, breathing animals that loved someone at one time and don't understand why people are doing this to them.
Now, Lehman's been working closely with the Artemis Project to rescue any animals she says that are found alive. People with the Artemis Project tell us that with more efforts to spay or neuter animals, these unnecessary deaths and abandoned animals can be reduced. And a new survey coming out says people's savings last longer in Arkansas when they lose their income. Consumer Affairs ranked Arkansas second in the country when it comes to how long it takes to go broke living on savings alone. Arkansans can last an average of 109 days. Wyoming was the only state that beat Arkansas, taking the top spot by just 0.1% of a day. Most Americans can last about 3 months on savings. Hawaiians did the worst. They averaged just over 62 days. California was close behind at 64. Now, obviously, the cost of living is a lot more in those states. And debate over whether the U.S. is in a recession will heat up after the government announced the second straight quarter of economic contraction. Deborah Alphone has those details from the White House.
Government figures show the U.S. economy continues to slide. The Bureau of Economic Analysis says the gross domestic product fell 0.9% during the second quarter from April through June. This marks the second straight quarter the economy has contracted, falling 1.6% at the start of the year.
We know that many families are worried about the state of the economy and the cost of living.
2 straight quarters of negative GDP would typically signal a recession, but the White House insists that's not the case, pointing to the strong job market.
A recession being labeled as such is almost irrelevant. Either you've got a job or you don't, and you can afford these high prices or you can't.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell warned that some people could end up losing their jobs in the future as the Fed fights back against rising inflation.
This process is likely to involve a period of below-trend economic growth and some softening in labor market conditions.
The Fed announced Wednesday it's raising interest rates by 0.75 percentage point in order to try to bring down inflation.
Higher prices, ones that we have not seen in decades, are going to be with us probably at least for 6, maybe 9 months. It will feel better, but it's not going to feel good.
Higher rates will make it more expensive to pay down credit card debt and raise the cost of an auto loan, adjustable rate mortgages, and small business loans. Deborah Alphone, CBS News, the White House.
Well, today's GDP report is based on incomplete data and is considered an initial estimate. The number can be revised up or down later when the Bureau releases a second estimate on August 25th. Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest from 5 News. I'm Jo Ellison. Have a great week.